What is your go-to July 4th grill item? We talk about that next. Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. And boy, how we have grown. We're going to get to that in our third segment. Today's episode is presented by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax pros by calling 1-800-549-1000 or visiting tnusa.com/locked-on. The Cubs lost 5-1 to the Giants on Tuesday night. Cubs are now a season high 6 games under 500 at 37-43. Kyle Hendricks was solid again, but the offense was abysmal again. The Giants opened up the game in their last ABs in the bottom of the 8th. Sam, we continue to cover a Cubs team in what feels like a season absolutely slipping away.
What do you want to talk about first, Matt? You want to talk about the fact that the Cubs are second only to the Brewers in 1-run and 2-run games this year, which Boog and JD continue to say is a bad thing, and yet the Brewers win all theirs, we lose all theirs. We took their manager because we wanted to win more and we wanted them to win less, and the opposites happened. We could talk about that. You want to talk about the fact that this offense is so awful?
Yeah.
I was watching. Hand up. I had the Cubs on my phone. I was watching Full House tonight.
Full House?
Yes, sir.
I used to get made fun of for watching that.
Well, I'm probably going to get made fun of by all 10,000 of our subscribers, which we'll talk about later. But, there's no adjustments, no spark. None of these guys are any good. They're all the same player, just wrapped in a different form. Or do you want to talk about the bullpen? That might be the worst Cubs bullpen of this century. And then the last option it could be, and I'll let you decide, or we could talk about the fact that when you consider expectations, you consider what this team was supposed to be, you consider how they lose games, that this might be the most miserable Cubs season of our lifetime. I'll turn it over to you. What do you want to talk about?
So we actually are going to do all of that. Let's lead off with this offense in this game, because I have the highlights, or perhaps they're more accurately the lowlights at this point in the campaign. All right, I got 3 situations, Sam. First and third, 2 outs at the top of the third. Because, and by the way, this is baseball coverage to me. Even before no one knew who we were, this is baseball. You break down each game, and quite frankly, as you mentioned to me the other day, we're going to have fans that just watch us and not the game moving forward. I don't think that's a reach to say. Okay, first and third, 2 outs, top 3. Seiya Suzuki strikes out on 3 pitches, and he only did a full swing on 1. Okay, that's 1. First and second, 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
Is that a highlight? Or?
It's not.
Okay.
Cody Bellinger strikes out on 5 pitches, and strike 3 was a called third. Mm-hmm. Then we have the triple threat. Suzuki leads off the top of the 6th with a solid single, but 6 pitches later, Ian Happ grounds into a double play. Oh, to top it off, later in that frame, Christopher Morel was caught stealing to end it, and there was a pointless challenge.
And he laughed. He was laughing.
He laughed.
He was enjoying it.
He thought it was comedic.
Happy belated, Christopher. Glad you're enjoying this season.
So the Cubs did have chances here, just like they have 150 times this year, but they didn't pull through, and it was disgusting.
Matt, did the Cubs hit a ball in the air hard all night?
No.
Did a ball reach the track tonight for the boys in blue?
No.
Okay.
So that's the offense.
Yeah, offensively abysmal tonight. Just non-competitive. I actually got a kick out of when Bush hit his RBI single. He's had a rough series. When he hit his RBI single and the everybody was dancing in the dugout. You see that?
I did see that. Yeah.
Hey, hey, it's the only run you're going to score. You might as well enjoy it. Each and every one of you should be ashamed of yourselves if you're watching this. These Cubs, the Cubs.
Right. Well, at least they're having a good time down there.
Laugh. And I got to tell you,
the Giants have thrown exclusively relief pitchers. They've won both games.
I know you're going to post this at some other time, so I don't want to step on your toes. But as bad as the play is on the field, it's pretty close, just as bad off the field. Justin Steele yesterday saying the bullpen's doing a heck of a job. Council saying the same thing. I told you this up here. You would think that this is like the Golden State Warriors. They just won. They're probably on their way down. They won their 4 titles. Their time's up, so they have this entitled attitude about everybody else. Wait, they've won. They've had an 83 win season where they collapsed in September. You would think that this is like the 40s and 50s Yankees with the way these guys talk. Oh, Dansby had a quote yesterday. We're such a resilient group, but things are going to start turning for us. No, you got to make them turn. They don't just turn.
He said something like that again last week.
This is. I texted this to a buddy.
Baseball is never just going to come to you. Never.
The 04 Cubs were a disappointment, even though they won 89 games because they could have been good. There's been a lot of Bears teams, Bulls teams. This right now, as it stands, there's still some time left. This is the most disappointing team I've ever rooted for. Just in terms of everything. There's not one thing to get behind. And Kyle Hendricks should laugh his way all the way to the $16 million bank because he was one of the 80 scapegoats. We all think it's not one guy. He was great again today.
Yep.
So
yeah.
bad.
Well, and it's just, you start to rewind the clock back a little bit because I felt like we lacked confidence in this team throughout the offseason, but we had comfort with the Craig Counsell hire, right?
Yes.
No confidence, but comfort. Then, however, they got off to a good start, but we doubted it. And now we see what is happening. And the Cubs, Sam, are too late and/or too slow on everything. And not only are you competing with the Brewers anymore, but the Cardinals and Reds are competing. And while the Pirates might have the top 2 pitchers in the division, the Pirates aren't supposed to be competing, but the Cubs are behind them too. It really is truly a big disappointment. Even just in the prism of the division.
I think big disappointment
a competitive, fun summer is not even a high bar.
I think a big disappointment is kind. If I was in charge of the titles, which I'm not, my title today would be, I wouldn't even have Chicago Cubs in it. It would be, this is becoming a joke. That'd be my title. No, because I'm laughing. Do you see my tone? Hear it? It's a joke. I'm laughing. They're telling a joke that I am laughing. Here's what I want. I have two public announcements I'd like to make. Number one, if for whatever reason, David Ross, you're listening, you have an open invitation on this show every time, so I could bow down and apologize to you in person or over video. Number two, Jed, Tom, if you guys are watching and you want to save your job, bring me in, because let me tell you what I'll do. No, let me tell you what I'll do. I will at least put butts in the seats. I will have everybody on that team on the bench so quick, we'll play with 4 guys. I mean, somebody flip a table. Somebody at least have a quote after the game that at least shows that you acknowledge. What is Counsell going to say? Yeah,
just horrible.
Not enough activity on offense tonight. Thought Kyle was tremendous. Colton had a couple of balls that did go his way, but just need more activity. Hey, flat out, just need more activity.
Activity? What is this, an exercise routine? That's a good impression.
I've seen more leadership, when I've had to sub in at daycare facilities between the 4-year-old children.
Monday night was truly a debacle in many ways. We're going to get to that in a couple minutes. One quick note, by the way, to quickly
Here's the quote.
preview.
Let me cut it. Here's Council's quote. Here's his quote. Here's the quote.
Go Cubs.
Quote, "You're not going to have a big night offensively with numbers like that." End quote. Go ahead.
I can't do that anymore. I was
kind of
even
quotes
thinking
are
about
these?
clipping some of this stuff, but it's not worth it to me. Why spend the time?
He talks to us like we've never watched. We know that you can't do that. What sort of quote is that?
But he says the same thing every day.
I'd like to just read that one more time.
Yeah,
$40 million. Quote, "You're not going to have a big night offensively with numbers like that." End quote. Go ahead.
Shota Imanaga has been pushed back to Thursday, so Wednesday will be a bullpen game. The Cubs don't have a bullpen, and they're going to try to win a major league game by going to multiple guys down there.
John Lieber might be the bulk guy.
Hayden Birdsong, quite a name, making his major league debut for San Fran.
I don't care.
Let's get to more of this bullpen and some of these quotes. Council ridiculous. Justin Steele, Sam, dishonest.
Yep.
Right after this.
This episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your car alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're in a speed, power, two things the Cubs don't have, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered with over $122 million, almost as much as we're paying our 206 hitting shortstop. With over $122 million parts for your number one car, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your car alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers.
This episode is also brought to you by LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Are you struggling to close deals? Perhaps like the Cubs struggle to close games. They lead baseball with 17 blown saves. Well, we're here to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock convos with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a free 60-day trial. LinkedIn.com/lockedon. That's LinkedIn.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial to let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to LinkedIn.com/lockedon to get started. The Cubs play the Giants at 8:45 p.m. Central Wednesday, and you can hear every pitch of the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. Colton Brewer and Drew Smiley combined to blow the game in the ninth for the Cubs on Monday night. Cubs have 17 blown saves this year. And Sam, what I wanted to talk about this segment, in addition to the Council and Steele quotes, which quite frankly are an abomination.
Yeah.
Despite having 4 key relievers injured, which does matter.
Sure.
How are there 0 good options down there?
Well, because I'll tell you that because someone
0.
I was reading the chat while you were talking, and somebody unfairly commented and goes, "Every episode we give Jed Hoyer a pass when Sunday night public."
That's crazy.
I called for his job. I literally said, "Jed, don't let the door hit you on the way out if this team doesn't make the playoffs." The answer is because Jed Hoyer and the pitching lab haven't built a very reliable situation. I give Boog some credit because he's really been calling out the Cubs lately. I mean, he was saying, he goes, nobody throws hard in this bullpen. They have no stuff.
JD brought that up when Smiley was blowing it last night.
And then the guys have stuff. Can't get the ball over the plate. Luke Little, Palencia, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a backwards thing. It's built poorly. The pitching lab's not good. Offensively, nobody improves. They had no options. Monday night was, I thought, if I had to pick one game, and there's plenty to pick from, to really summarize why we are where we're at, that's a good option. There's plenty of them. That's a good option, right? Probably should have had 7, 8, 9 runs. Couldn't deliver in the clutch. Couldn't get a big hit. And then you still had a nice, comfortable 2-run lead going into the 9th. You should still win that game, probably 95 out of 100 times. This one felt like it was about a 10% chance they'd win. The minute Chapman's ball bounced in center, I got up from my bed. I was watching the game horizontally, and I go, this is going to be a loss. I probably got to do a Twitter video. And then Counsell after the game said, 2 kind of soft hits. Well, yeah, bunt hit's a soft hit. They're doing that by design, Craig. You're allowed to do that in this business. And by the time that happened, Drew Smiley forgot how to throw strikes. The one thing I didn't understand was, like, nationally, it was like a really big story. The Cubs intentionally walked Ramos only to walk in the winning run. I didn't think that was a problem. I thought Ramos was going to get a hit. Drew Smiley's not supposed to walk Wilmer Flores. He's a veteran, and he's not supposed to walk guys. So.
Right. And by the way, noting that he's a veteran is important. Like, can someone perform well, especially if you have that status? Right. The thing that bugged me about Monday the most in terms of situational play by far was first and third, no outs.
Yep.
Suzuki, Bellinger, Morel. They didn't score.
Not only
they can't hit a healthy fly ball.
No. Don't let them off the hook. They weren't even close to scoring. Suzuki popped up 30 seconds later. 30 seconds later, he was smiling in the dugout. And then
why did these guys keep smiling?
And then Bellinger and Morel struck out. Well, Bellinger struck out on a pitch that would have been a little high in the zone to Will Chamberlain. I mean, it was at the top of his head. And he sung, and then Morel just took. I mean, I had a great Twitter video because this is my new thing now. Morel, hoo.
Oh yeah, people like that.
That's a good one.
It's a big NBA trade tonight, by the way.
Mikal Bridges is coming home. The Cubs. Have you noticed how many of our players guess?
Oh, like it's constant.
Like, how can I trust Morel?
No plans.
How can I trust Morel to be a 40 home run, 250, 260 hitter when he just guesses? Like, sometimes it looks like he has a really good eye, and then he'll take a 3-2 pitch, literally middle, and you're just like, wait, he actually didn't take those pitches because he saw them well. He's just guessing.
Absolutely. 100%.
Bellinger guesses a ton. Suzuki guesses a ton. How many times are we going to watch Suzuki take a called strike down the middle and then get in swing mode? Like, is there any? Dustin Kelly, are you there? Is there somebody, like, you know what I would do? I'd say, hey, I don't care where this pitch is. If you don't swing at the first pitch, you're going up to the bench.
Could it be that he is doing that and Suzuki is stubborn?
Well, then if he's stubborn, he should sit.
Well, there you go.
If you're not listening to your coach, then you should sit out.
What's his swing rate on balls in the zone? Well,
he's got
it's got to be 15%.
Yeah, and then he just gets in swing mode.
Something like that.
Nito had a nice game last night. 0 for 4, 3 Ks. I believe he left 7 men on.
Again, a defined closer is not even a thing based on the current composition of the roster. But I am curious whose choice it was to remove Neris from that role. Was that Hoyer or Counsell?
It's a great question because Counsell publicly said it wasn't, and Neris never pitches anymore. I would hope that it's Counsell. Jed Hoyer should not be Jed's decision.
No, it should not.
And Jed might not be making many decisions here pretty soon. But
did Counsell have these type of quotes in the last few years in Milwaukee?
Well, they don't
lose.
There's
a level of disengagement when he does that. Is
there
not? Am I crazy?
No, somebody said to me yesterday, my friend Jeff goes, am I imagining this? Or whenever we played the Brewers last year, he was pacing the dugout. He was always on the umps. He felt so engaged. This year, he just sits there.
Well, I remember the first series, especially of the season in Texas. That's 3 games of now 80. but he was doing that.
Um,
And then I feel like it's maybe been fizzled.
I want to also touch on real quick, and we'll have 2-3 months to touch on just how contradictory this roster is. Like,
okay, let's hear about that.
It was built on, I thought the identity of this team, especially when they acquired Council on 11/6/23, I thought that this was going to be a run prevention, smart, really good defensive team with some timely hitting and a bullpen that figured it out. Then that's why I was so adamant that the Morel third base experiment, it scared me because it contradicted what I thought this team was going to be. So we're built around defense, but now we're going to throw a guy at third that can't play third. Now we don't have any stars offensively. So we can't have, if you don't have any stars offensively, you have to figure out a way to not have, for lack of a better term, like major weak links. And we have a catcher that's hitting 1-something. PCA is an automatic out. So, like, the roster doesn't make sense. I don't understand. What are they trying to do? Like, what was the goal this year? Because it just feels like, are they trying to develop Morel and PCA? Are they trying to win? Because I just don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. Everything's so contradictory. Okay, so you want to be a team that prevents runs. So you're going to go into the year with Owsley as your closer. You went and got Neris, but if you're going to do that, why wouldn't you just go give the $90 million to Josh Hader then? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what they're trying to do. I was so on board for this rebuild in 2021. I thought it was time, and I thought Jed deserved the chance to see this out, and he's very, very close, in my opinion, to failing in that regard. And by failing, I mean, losing an opportunity to get another year or two. So,
well, 2 of the 8 positions on the field, they can't be played by that person.
Correct.
How do you have 2 of 8 catcher and third base and they can't play it? How does that even happen?
And that's not at the end of the world if you have Aaron Judge or you have
sure.
But when you don't have any actual good players, the Cubs don't have one position player that should be. Do we know where the All-Star game is being played this year?
No. Oh, I believe Texas.
Okay.
Rangers are hosting. Yeah.
The Cubs don't have a position player that should be allowed in the state of Texas near the All-Star game.
Right.
I mean, so when you don't even have close to an all-star caliber player, you then also can't have 2 guys in the lineup that might not be hitting 240 at AA.
I think at this point, Sam, we can say that Hoyer's bet on building on all nice players was wrong.
Yeah, and are they even nice players? Give us a call, 312.
Right, which we talked about the other day. Yeah. Lastly, this segment, Sam.
We've talked about everything. The rest of the year, I want to know.
Well, that's true.
Are people into burgers, steaks, hot dogs on the 4th? I want to start talking about, what's your go-to bar outside of Wrigleyville, when you're there. Are you going to go to a game in the second half of the season, or are you going to start voicing your displeasure
really good.
With your wallet? Like, maybe it's time to stop going to games. I know I'm not going anymore.
Do you still subscribe to the Marquee Network?
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have told me that they unsubscribed. We had 2 people comment today.
I'm hearing that too.
We had 2 people comment today. Hey, after tonight, I unsubscribed.
If people have a bar, by the way, that we can throw an event at in July, please let us know.
Well, yeah, but you know what?
I'd love to do that.
I don't want that, though, to bring foot traffic around Wrigley. I don't want them going to the game after.
Yeah, it might be a suburb thing.
Yeah, maybe, or just maybe at an off day.
Finally, Justin Steele was dishonest. Who you crapping moment for him. After Monday's game, he said the bullpen is, quote, doing a heck of a job down there, close quote. Why would he? Why? How? Come on. It's not necessary to lie.
That's what
you don't have to lie.
They don't have a leader.
But
that's a quote
why
from somebody.
Lie? You were the starting pitcher that game. It's okay.
Somebody just commented
about the bullpen.
Somebody just commented what he's supposed to say. So let me answer that. What he's supposed to say is it's really frustrating to come out each and every night and pitch well. I know those guys are giving it their best shot down there, and I know offensively we are as well, but our best shot isn't good enough right now, and we need to start winning games quick because it's not fair to everybody that's watching. We're better than this. That's what you say.
Yeah, but you're not.
You don't say they're doing a heck of a job down there. You're lying.
I'm not trying to welcome him throwing anybody under the bus. I don't think that's productive.
Did I say anyone throwing? I didn't throw anyone under the bus.
I'm just adding. I'm adding to it.
But I just think what I said is exactly what you're supposed to say.
I think so.
It's professional. It lets the people want to know that you're as upset as they are. And this team, they're going to wake up.
They
tomorrow.
don't even show a glimpse of that.
They might hop on the jet skis in McCovey Cove,
Wow.
And, they don't care.
Well, there's another possible.
They lack leader. The number one trait of a leader, in my opinion, there's plenty of things that makes a great leader. You don't have to scream and yell to be a great leader. And I'm not talking about manager or coach. I'm just talking about leader, like how you are as a leader.
Yeah.
Joe Madden, I thought, was a great leader, even though he didn't scream and yell. But the number one trait, especially when you're dealing with professional athletes, you need to hold people accountable. And Justin Steele is one of the leaders of this team. Somebody needs to be held accountable for this. And you have to do that. Like Michael Jordan, and he was not a nice guy, but he held people. He held people accountable. And obviously, it helps when you have that sort of credibility. But there's plenty of situations in sports where you have leaders that aren't the best guys. You can't come out here and say the bullpen's doing a heck of a job. In my opinion, that is a backhanded slap in the face to fans.
Totally, 100%. And by the way, to your point, Steele has credibility.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He's supposed to be the top.
And you can tell that he was noticeably upset when Suzuki dropped his 17th ball of the season last night.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, coming up next, we're going to share in some happy news show related. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by Tax Network USA. Here on Locked On Cubs, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed pros and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. That's tnusa.com/lockedon for Tax Network USA.
This episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app. It is the easiest and most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and then watch the winnings roll in. Baseball season has been underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks entries, whether it's strikeouts. Cubs have been doing a lot of that on offense lately. RBIs, not a lot of that lately. Or first inning runs. That hasn't happened in a long time. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry. Prize Picks is really simple to play, with your entries taking less than 60 seconds to submit, turning $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps of your screen. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by using code LOCKEDONMLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Matt, before you get into this, I'd like to read you Kyle Hendricks' quote tonight.
Okay.
Asked about his curveball, Kyle said, quote, "Miggy's been the key behind it. Definitely the most confidence I've had in my curveball in my career." Kyle Hendricks credits Miguel Amaya for his confidence. Like little things like that. It's like, I get it.
Credited Amaya before, too.
I know. I just know what he's trying to do, right? Kid struggling. I get it. I understand it. But
He's done that a few outings in a row, actually.
Yeah. All right. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I get it.
Well, we do have some breaking news on the show. Locked On Cubs has reached on the same day 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1 million listens/views for 2024. We're really excited to announce this. We reached both milestones on Tuesday. That's pretty wild. Have a couple things to throw up on the screen. Maybe put those on Twitter later, or maybe Wednesday morning.
Yeah, send that to me, man.
The one big difference here with this, and we've had just a blast doing this show since we took over on July 5th, 2022. So our 2-year anniversary is coming up. But Sam, we reached 1 million listens and views in September last year. It's only June 25th. That's a major difference. And it's just a tribute to the audience, and just very, very proud.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't acknowledge enough just what a great community of listeners that we have.
Yes.
Even in the worst of times, and unfortunately, we are in the worst of times in terms of Cubs land, of course. September of last year was really rough. This year has been really rough. I was hoping that this summer was going to be something really special to put this community together and watch a winning team. But in spite of all that, the listeners are amazing. They're great to meet people. Obviously, you and I, work together in a really good way. And, we're going to keep on going and doing the best we can, especially now. I think, we always talk about on our show, we want to be informative and we want to be entertaining. And I think the entertaining part now for the rest of this season is going to have to be on display, and we're going to do our best, and we can't wait for the next 10,000 more.
Well, I've learned a lot doing this show. I love doing this show. Love doing this with you, Sam. And I would really like to throw an event next month, most likely in the Chicagoland area, suburbs. Maybe All-Star Week. Shoot, maybe even All-Star Game, a Tuesday night in July for a bar or restaurant. I think that'd be good to bring in some traffic. So I want to put that out there to the audience as well, if you all have a connection to a Chicagoland area place. But I would like to get that on the books soon. Will the Cubs get off the schneid on Wednesday? We're going to have to wait and see for that. We will be live, win or loss.
A yes, B no,
Wednesday.
C you won't be watching. Let us know.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts. And if you want more of us, consider supporting us by subscribing to our Unlocked podcast. The link to subscribe to Unlocked is in this episode description. You have a great time doing that show as well. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.